Today is October the 14th. I recorded an entire video only to realize I recorded it in slow motion. So this is take two. October 14th. Don't get mad. Help. Are you angry when someone's armpits stink or when their breath is bad? What would be the point? Having such a mouth and such armpits, there's going to be a smell emanating. You say, they must have sense. Can't they tell how they're offending others? Well, you have sense too. Congratulations. So use your natural reason to awaken theirs. Show them, call it out. If the person will listen, you will have cured them without useless anger. No drama nor unseemly show required. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. The person sitting next to you on the plane, the one who is loudly chattering and knocking around in your space, the one you're grinding your teeth about, hating from the depth of your soul because they're rude, ignorant, obnoxious. In these situations, you might feel it takes everything you have to restrain yourself from murdering them. It's funny how that thought comes into our heads before politely asking them to stop or making the minor scene of asking for a different seat. We'd rather be pissed off, bitter, raging inside than risk an awkward conversation that might actually help this person and make the world a better place. We don't just want people to be better, we expect it to magically happen. Then we can simply will other people to change, burning holes into their skulls with our angry stare. Although when you think about it this way, it makes you wonder who the rude one actually is. I think this is quite an applicable one to everyday life. We're often faced with situations where people are annoying us. They're talking too loudly. They're singing, listening to their headphones, singing, and they have a bad singing voice. Whether that's your family, your roommates, whoever, um, and we allow ourselves to get angry at these small inconveniences. I think there's a few things we can take from this. First of all, is look, if something's bothering you and you have the ability to address it with that person. I think so often we worry about, oh, am I going to offend this person, or we don't want to have those awkward conversations, as it was mentioned in the entry for today. But it's such a good life skill to be able to approach delicate situations with tact, right? And at the end of the day, I think what's quite important is how things are said. There's a quote by Nietzsche who says that we are often unreceptive, or we often refuse to accept an idea merely because of the tone that it has been expressed to us. And this holds a lot of water, right? If you think about how people tell you things, it really does affect how we perceive what's being told to us. If you're doing something wrong, for example, and somebody comes to you and says, yo, you're a total idiot, this is not how you're supposed to be doing this, versus someone who comes to you and says, hey, great that you're trying to do this in the right way, but have you considered XYZ way? Of course, we're going to be receptive to the latter one because it's empathetic and it takes it's tactful, it's more tactful. So this is a key thing to remember when approaching someone and trying to change behavior, is just simply to do it in a human way. I think the second thing that we can indirectly take from this is another central tenet of stoicism, and that is that we, I think, allow ourselves also to be affected by so many things, right? And many of us, most of us are maybe living in an urban environment where we are around people a lot, and we are living fast, busy lives. And there are many times throughout our day where things can become annoying. Maybe we're on the subway and people are listening to something on their phone without headphones on, which is super annoying, and not conscientious of the people around them, which is fair, and they should not be doing that in the first place. But we can also choose whether or not we're going to be affected by that. And if we allow every small inconvenience or an annoying thing that somebody does to affect our day, we will walk around miserable. And I'm sure many of us know some people that allow themselves to be affected by external happenings and then they go through their day miserable. And we also know people who may, sometimes have everything go wrong in a day and they're still chill, they're still cool with it. And I think we can all aspire to be like that latter person, because throughout our day, throughout our lives, there's going to be things that affect us. And that's not to say that we should go through life being completely unaffected by every single thing, although I do feel that that does have its merits. Um, but it's about deciding what we let affect us, right? And trying to not allow external circumstances dictate how we feel on the inside, um, while simultaneously, in my opinion, being human, right? And I think that's a little bit of a tangent, but I think that that balance of like not being affected too much by external circumstances, but at the same time not becoming apathetic to everything that's going on around us. An example that I think of, and I struggle with this one sometimes, and not related to what we read today, but when you're on the subway and people will come and ask for money, right? Um, of course, you can't always give every single person that comes, to you. You can't give them money every single time to every single person. Um, but I do think it's also important to, you know, be human and sometimes give those people money, right? Because you don't know what these people are going through. And it's very easy for us to turn a blind eye and we say to ourselves, okay, we're not going to be affected by external circumstances. But again, I don't think that's a blanket statement that can be put. But coming back to today's topic, it's more about not letting inconveniences, or when someone's doing something annoying or stupid, I think not letting it affect you too deeply, but also if you're able to bring that up to the person in a tactful way and allow them to maybe become cognizant of the fact that they're engaging in annoying behavior, and open up the platform to like a awkward or uncomfortable conversation. It's a life skill, and b, it's a way for you to help them change their behavior without you instead getting super angry about it. So something that we can all hopefully take away from there. And the next time we are faced with someone in a public space, maybe, or a friend or an acquaintance or a colleague that's doing something that just grinds your gears, hopefully we can stop, instead of burning a hole into their skull with our eyes, actually approach them and help them change their behavior for the better. Cool.